Good morning to one and all. Our group that consists of Dexter, Joshua, Yick, Chang, Yueqi, Zixing, and Jing will be doing a presentation on tourism attractions and transportations in Japan. Now, I will pass the time to Yueqi to get the presentation going.
Good morning everyone, I'm Yueqi and I'll be talking about Mount Fuji, which is one of the tourist attractions in Japan. The highest mountain in Japan, Mount Fuji, is 3,776 meters above sea level and is located more or less in the center of Japan, stretching over Shizuoka and Yamanashi prefectures. Its elegant conical form has frequently been depicted in many paintings and literary works since ancient times. Many Japanese dream of standing on the summit at least once in their lifetime, and Mount Fuji is visited by some 300,000 climbers every year. The mountain officially opens only in summer. Mount Fuji can be seen from quite a distance, even in Tokyo, under the right conditions. And there are many famous tourist spots in the environs of Tokyo where you can enjoy the view of Mount Fuji. Japan is a rare country where the highest mountain can be observed from the capital city. These are some view spots for enjoying the diverse expressions of Mount Fuji. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government Office. It is 202 meters above ground and provides a magnificent view of Mount Fuji. The Tokyo Tower. The Tokyo Tower has a cafe as well as a look-down window floored with glass. The Tokyo City View. It is 52 stories high and offers a 360-degree view. Lastly, Lake Mototsuko. Here are some of the fun facts of Mount Fuji. The climbing season begins on the first day in July and ends in the last week of August on the 27th. The volcano last erupted around 300 years ago. It was forbidden for women to climb Mount Fuji until 1912. The temperatures at the summit are extremely low and may go down to minus 35 degrees Celsius.
The Shinzaibashi Shopping Street. Shinzaibashi Shopping Street is the largest shopping area in Osaka, where many boutiques and eateries are found, attracting many local people and tourists. The shopping street is the best known shopping area in Osaka and is an enduring symbol of the city and country. With a history of 380 years, it was already an established shopping area in the Edo period. Shops of all kinds and for all ages line the street of about 600 meters long. Popular clothing Japanese brand stores like Uniqlo and drugstores can be found there. Popular street snacks of Japan such as takoyaki and okonomiyaki can also be found in the street. Shinzaibashi is truly both a shopping and food paradise for all. The top left and right hand corner shows the vibrant and colorful nightlife of the shopping street. Bottom middle picture shows one of the popular delicacy, the ramen, that can be found in one of the many food stores in the street. Left bottom shows a picture of the popular Glico-man poster, where it is a popular landmark of Shinzaibashi, where many tourists will take a picture with it. The rest shows the busy and crowded streets of Shinzaibashi.
Shinto shrines are places of worship and the dwelling of the kami, the Shinto gods. Sacred objects of worship that represents the kami are stored in the innermost chamber of the shrine where they cannot be seen by anybody. People visit shrines in order to pay respect to the kami or to pray for good fortune. Shrines are also visited during special events such as New Year, Setsuban, Shishi-Gosan, and other festivals. Newborn babies are traditionally brought to a shrine a few weeks after birth, and many couples hold their wedding ceremonies there. Meiji Shrine is surrounded by Yoyogi Park. Meiji Shrine is dedicated to the souls of Emperor Meiji, Japan's first modern constitutional monarch, and his wife, Empress Shokan. Meiji Shrine is a very popular place for traditional Japanese-style weddings. much of which are visible
Nasal
to
shrine.
visitors.
Nasal shrine has its roots in almost 2000 years of Japan's history and is closely associated with Japan's imperial family. Nasal shrine is a famous first and foremost for the azalea garden that is rare of vivid spring pinks, white and purple in April. But even when the azaleas are not in bloom, Nasal Shrine is a must-see for its elegant old buildings, kept in pristine condition with crypts, colorful traditional designs, and its simple but beautiful landscape grounds. Yasukuni Shrine is dedicated to Japan's war dead. Toshogo Shrine, Nikko's main attraction. The Toshogo Shrine was built in honor of Tokugawa Ieyasu, the country's most powerful shogun. Kotohiragu Shrine. Kotohiragu Shrine is located in the western part of Kagawa at an altitude of 520 meters. Its inner shrine is accessible via 1,368 stone steps. Pilgrimage to the shrine was a popular tradition in the Muromachi period that continues to this day. Torii. One or more torii gates mark the approach and entrance to a shrine. They come in various colors and are made of various materials. Most torii, however, are made of wood, and many are painted orange and black. Komainu. Komainu are a pair of guardian dogs or lions, often found on each side of the shrine's entrance. In the case of Inari Shrine, they are foxes rather than dogs. Purification Trough. Found near the entrance, the water of these fountains is used for purification. You are supposed to clean your hands and mouth before approaching the main hall. Main and Offering Hall. Depending on the shrine's architecture style, the main hall and the offering hall are two separate buildings all combined into one. The main hall's innermost chamber contains the shrine's sacred object, while visitors make their prayers and offerings at the offering hall. Emma. Shrine visitors write their wishes on these wooden plates and then leave them at the shrine in the hopes that their wishes come true. Most people wish for good health, success in business, passing entrance exams, love, or wealth.
Today, I'll be presenting on another tourist attraction from Japan. This tourist attraction is the Tsukiji Fish Market. It is located in Tokyo City and is about 5 to 10 minutes from central Tokyo. So what actually makes this fish market a tourist attraction? As all of us know, food is a huge part of Asian culture and it is no different in Japan. Sushi is one of the main staples of the Japanese people, and most of the fish used to make sushi in Japan today is sold at the Tsukiji market. Many tourists like to visit the market to see the different varieties of fish from all over Japan being sold there. A large percentage of the world's fish that is exported from Japan is also sold at the Tsukiji fish market. In this next slide, you can see a photo on the left side showing different varieties of fish from all over Japan. And on the right side, you can see a photo showing the different kinds of shellfish and other small fish, as well as fish roe being sold at the market. Majority of the fish sold in the market is either caught in other parts of Japan and then shipped to Tokyo to be sold at the market. Although there are many fish markets in Japan like the Tsukiji fish market, the Tsukiji fish market is the largest market in Japan and receives the most traffic flow of not only fish but humans. On the photograph on the left, you can see a vegetable stall. This is an example of another attraction at the Tsukiji market. These vegetable stalls sell many locally grown fruits and vegetables which are native to Japan. And on the right side of your screen, you'll see a restaurant. For many tourists, visiting the market and buying the fresh fish at the market is not a feasible option. Most tourists just simply walk around the market to see the different species of fish on display, to take pictures of them, and chat with some of the stall owners. So the restaurants on the outer part of the Tsukiji market provide visitors with a taste of the fresh fish on offer at the market. In this next slide, you can see a map of Tsukiji fish market. On the top portion of the market, you can see a small section labeled tuna auctions. Now, the tuna auctions are another tourist attraction at the market, and many people travel from far and wide and wake up at early hours of the morning just to see the auction happen. Now, at the tuna auction, what happens is that usually the people who are bidding will go up to the tuna, and there will be a small chunk of the tail cut out, and they would dig their fingers in and take a bit of the meat and rub it in between their fingers just to find out the fat content and the texture of the fish, and that way they grade the fish and they decide how much they want to buy the fish for. Now, in this next picture is something that tourists wake up at 4:30 in the morning for. This is a tuna auction happening in action. The man in blue is currently conducting the auction, and the man in orange is one of the buyers. The tuna auctions that happen at the Tsukiji fish market aren't your regular auctions. Usually what will happen is that you'd receive a paddle with a number on it, and every time you want to bid, you'd actually raise the paddle. Instead, what would happen is that the people who are buying the fish would actually make small hand gestures to let the auctioneer know that they're interested in buying the fish. Now here's an interesting story about the Tsukiji fish market. This is a picture of Mr. Jiro Ono. He's currently 93 years old, and he's still working. He is the head chef at the 3 Michelin star Sukiyabashi Jiro. In this next picture, what you can see is him serving President Obama and the Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. This next picture is of him on the left and his son on the right. Why is Tsukiji market so integral to this restaurant? Well, this next picture will show it. This is his son on a bicycle. Every morning, his son rides to the Tsukiji fish market to pick out the produce for the day. And this is very unique because usually what restaurants do is that they simply pick up the phone and call the supplier. Instead, what the top restaurants in Japan do is that they go directly to the people at the Tsukiji fish market to analyze what kind of produce they want and to pick it out personally.
Now I'll be sharing with you a unique bicycle system that Japan operates. Japan has a bicycle sharing system which allows you to rent a bike, and when you are done, you just park the bike back at the nearest parking lots. There are 15 bicycle parking lots set up at every 300 meters in central Toyama, and 150 bicycles are available for rental. With the purchase of a 500 yen monthly pass, registered users can ride the bicycles as many times as they want to up to 30 minutes for free. The bicycles can be returned at the nearest parking lots. As this is a very cheap alternative, many students have adopted this mode of transport to get to school and back home. The bike sharing system aimed at easing urban traffic and helping reduce greenhouse gas emission through the shared use of bicycles. Next, I'll be playing a video of Japan's electronic bicycle parking system. This is Japan's unique parking system, designed and built by the engineer of Giken Shisakosho, and can store up to 800 bicycles at a time. Users simply walk their bike up, input a card or a code, and let the machine do the rest. The bikes are then taken underground, sorted and stored in a cylindrical shaft until needed. Then available at a moment's notice, bikers can be back on their ride shortly.
Domestic ferries. Consisting of several thousand islands, Japan is naturally home to an extensive network of ferry routes. Japan's 4 main islands, Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu, and Shikoku, are connected with each other by bridges and tunnels, but many smaller islands can only be reached by ship. But even between the main islands, ferries can be an interesting, if not particularly fast alternative to trains, buses, and planes. Most ferries transport people, vehicles, and cargo, while shorter routes are served by small ships able to carry a couple of cars and a few dozens of passengers. Large liners are employed on longer routes. Large ferries can carry hundreds of vehicles and passengers and are usually equipped with a range of amenities such as public baths and a restaurant. Some can even come close to being luxury liners.
Hello, I'm Tsing and today I'll be talking about railways in Japan. The railway transport service in Japan are provided by more than 100 private companies, including the Japan Railway Group, the nationwide JR Freight Company, and 16 major regional companies. There are a total of 27,268 km of rail crisscrossing the country. Because of the massive use of its railway system, Japan is home to 46 of the world's 50 busiest stations. Japan pioneered the high-speed Shinkansen, or bullet train, which now links Japan's largest cities at speeds of up to 320 km per hour. Now I'll be talking about railway companies in Japan. The first company is the JR Company, which is also known as Japan Railways Group. It is the successor of the Japanese National Railways (JNR), which was privatized in 1987 due to huge debts and mismanagement. The JR Group is made up of 6 regional passenger railway companies: JR Hokkaido, JR East, JR Central, JR West, JR Shikoku, and JR Kyushu, and one nationwide freight railway company, JR Freight. Together, they operate a nationwide network of urban, regional and inter-regional train lines and the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train. Secondly, it's the private railway companies. Dozens of private railway companies exist in Japan. The smaller one consists of just one line, while others operate quite extensive railway networks. Some examples are Kanto, Chubu and Kinki. Next, I'll be talking about the train categories. There are a total of 5 train categories in Japan. The first one is the local. Local train stops at every station. Secondly, it's the rapid. Rapid trains skip some stations. There's no difference in the ticket price between local and rapid trains. The express trains stop at even fewer stations than rapid trains. Japan Railways charges an express fee in addition to the base fare. Limited express trains stop at only major stations. A limited express fee usually has to be paid in addition to the base fare. Super Express, which is also Shinkansen, are only operated by JR. Shinkansen run along separate tracks and platforms. A limited express fee has to be paid in addition to the base fare. Last but not least, I'll be talking about the seat categories. JR offers 2 kinds of seats, the ordinary seat and the green seats, which is also known as first class seats. The green seats are less crowded and offer more spacious seats, but typically 30% to 50% more expensive. Most Shinkansen and limited express trains also carry non-reserved and reserved seats. However, the reserved seats in Japan is different from Singapore.
Kyoto. Kyoto is one of the few cities in Japan to be spared from World War II. It attracts more than 10 million visitors annually, where they can explore the fine old streets and architecture where many things were left unchanged for more than 1,000 years ago. Kyoto was Japan's most important cultural center, where many museums and art galleries are filled with important sculptures, paintings, and other art forms. Kyoto still has Buddhist-influenced architecture, where 30 of the well-preserved temples are still in use. The Kyoto Imperial Palace. The Kyoto Imperial Palace used to be the residence of Japan's imperial family until 1868, when the emperor and capital were moved from Kyoto to Tokyo. It is located in the spacious Kyoto Imperial Park, an attractive park in the center of the city that also encompasses the Sento Imperial Palace and a few other attractions. The current Imperial Palace was reconstructed in 1855 after it had burned down and moved around town repeatedly over the centuries. The complex is enclosed by long walls and consists of several gates, halls, and gardens. The enthronement ceremonies of Emperors Taisho and Showa were still held in the palace's main hall, but the present Emperor's ceremony took place at the Tokyo Imperial Palace. The 1,300-meter long and 700-meter wide park also serves as recreational space for both tourists and residents, featuring attractive broad gravel paths, lawns, and tree groves. A pretty group of weeping cherry trees stands beside Kono Pond in the park's northwestern corner and is usually in bloom for 2 to 3 weeks from late March to mid-April. Nijou Castle. The Nijou Castle was used as an imperial palace for a while before being donated to the city and opened up to the public as a historic site. Nijou Castle can be divided into 3 areas: the Honmaru, which is the main circle of defense, the Ninomaru, the secondary circle of defense, and some gardens that encircle Honmaru and Ninomaru. The entire castle grounds and the Honmaru are surrounded by stone walls and moats. Venturing further into the castle will bring you to the Chinese-style Karamon Gate, the entrance to the Ninomaru, where the castle's main attraction, the Ninomaru Palace, is located. The Ninomaru Palace served as the residence and office of the shogun during his visits to Kyoto. Surviving in its original form, the palace consists of multiple separate buildings that are connected with each other by corridors with so-called nightingale floors, as they squeak when stepped upon as a security measure against intruders. The palace rooms are tatami mat covered and features elegantly decorated ceilings and beautifully painted sliding doors. Nishike Market. The Nishike Market is a narrow 5-block long shopping street lined by more than 100 shops and restaurants. Known as Kyoto's Kitchen, this lively retail market specializes in all things food-related, like fresh seafood, produce, knives, and cookware. And it's a great place to find seasonal foods and Kyoto specialties such as Japanese sweets, pickles, dried seafood, and sushi.